I know that.
Here it comes. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Chance's Chat tonight. Of course, I am Doc G, and we are here for a lot of different information, but some of the information is for entertainment purposes only, or it may not be. My president is bulletproof. I love that. Welcome to Chance's Chat, and here's our team.
Guys, this is going to be a great show tonight. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna do something because I'm gonna put a link and send this video to somebody after it's done, and I'm sending it out to Tyler Hansen. Tyler Hansen, why am I sending you a copy of this video? Because Mr. Hansen, whether you know it or not, you have been compromised. When you started noticing that different people are playing different roles, you were absolutely correct. And I followed you and watching interestingly from a distance, and I've even sent you a couple emails inviting you onto the show, but I don't want you on the show now, and I'll tell you why. I feel, whether you know it or not, you've been compromised, because your video that you released on Facebook today said that we being played about the white hats and John F. Kennedy and President Carter, Jimmy Carter, and it doesn't matter who's playing who, okay? But the white hats are real, whether you believe it or not, okay? You go with your gut. You go with photographic evidence. I go with sources, okay? I have real sources in real places. I know who's been assassinated, or I should say executed in, not assassinated was the wrong word, I'm sorry. Executed in Gitmo. Not all of them. Not all of them. But I know the key ones. Nikki, please. And I've got contacts that were at the border that knew what was going on. I've got contacts in the military. And I don't have to prove anything to you. But if you go on and say the white hats are a lie, and everything that they are trying to accomplish is a lie, then whether you know it or not, you have been compromised. Somebody has MK Ultra you somewhere or another. I appreciate your love for God, source, the all, whatever you want to call the ultimate power. I appreciate your love for source, for God, for Jesus. I appreciate it. But you are on the wrong track, my brother. And I'm going to tell you right now, the RV is real. The med beds are real. The other side of the story is somewhere between George Reeves' video that I really admired your work on that one, by the way. But somewhere between the George Reeves video and the Tom Cruise video, I feel you were compromised. Okay? Now, you're talking to a bunch of flat earthers, kind of, because it's flat on top and the rest is kind of egg-shaped, and we all believe in the firmament, so you're all good there. All right? But to say that the White Hat's operation is another part of the almighty lie and the matrix is wrong. I've got too many sources. I've got too much verification. I've got too much proof. Okay. And the other thing is, what you're failing to recognize is timeline jumps. Now, I'm going to tell you, I told this to people before. I do not talk to God. I do not talk to God, but I get messages from Him. I get messages from God. I get messages from the source, and they drop in like a hammer hit me on the side of the head. Okay, and they've been fewer lately because we're getting close to our goal. But if you think the RV is baloney, you're wrong. If you think the white hats are baloney, you're wrong. If you think that the world isn't going to change in a positive way, you are wrong. Okay? And if you want to have a private conversation with me about any of this, my email address is chancemusic@yahoo.com. I'll be glad to give you my phone number and we can talk about this in great detail. I have friends who are Palladians. I have friends who are starseeds. I have friends that are connected. I have a wonderful friend in Australia. His name's Wyatt. He is on the internet before either one of us. And he has been giving good, solid information for a long time. So what I want you to do is either, if you're not going to communicate with me directly, I want to tell you, you need to settle down before you make a video saying something like this because it's wrong. And I'm going to tell you how I know it's wrong. Okay. Robin, it probably is. Robin just popped up and said her mom got a $15,000 check. Okay. This has to do with our conversation. They are sending out, Tyler, they are sending out checks of different amounts to different people. It's the beginning of Nasara Gassara. If you don't believe in that, I'll be glad to explain it to you in a way that you'll understand. And yes, I know.
No,
I know all about the actors and their roles, and I really appreciated your work up until this point. But if you think that Hillary Clinton isn't, you're wrong. Okay?
Chance, can I chime in real quick? If it's okay. Actually, sure. I want to provide an objective standpoint real quick. Okay. So you're actually, yes, from your point of view, he's wrong, but I actually think it's good that he honors his truth and he's right. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why he's right in his own way. You will like this. He will not. He has his own matrix, right? We agree that. His point of attention, his ideas, whatever he says is true, he magnetizes. His own singularity, his own identity will magnetize to that timeline, and he will get exactly what he created. So he is right. He is right to believe in nothing. If he believes in nothing of abundance, if nothing of greater sources of help and aid and humanitarian, then he is actually correct. He's correct. And he will shift as a transdimensional and interdimensional being, and he will be that truth. And he'll share with everyone else, and they will be wonderfully miserable and enjoy their life. So I just wanted to correct that format because we all have to honor our existence. But you're both right, actually. He's just waiting to play in what you would call back to 3. If he wants to be in these lower density formats, more power to him. However, for those of us that want to be co-creators, you have to be more expanded, you have to be more open, you have to have more abundance within your heart. within the inner source that is your singularity, your magnetism. So that's great. You guys will never see eye to eye. You guys will never meet. And you guys will shift to different timelines and have beautiful experiences.
Very well said, Brian. And listen, another thing, Tyler. This is the last thing I'm talking about, Mr. Tyler Hansen. Okay, I've said nothing derogatory to you. Okay, so I've said nothing that could insult you. I'm just saying that we have a difference of opinion, and Brian has recognizes that difference of opinion as being two different players on the chessboard. Okay, so that's a good thing. But let me tell you what I've got that you don't have, Tyler. Okay, I got Hamilton Radio 1. Hamilton Radio 1 has got my back. I've got their back. I have got the amazing, fascinating Brian, who has a scope on reality that nobody else has on the internet. And I have got the holder of due course in Australia, and that is Wyatt. He is my brother. He is my friend. And right now, this is a great segue to lead into Wyatt giving his big news that he has. And then I am actually going to give an RV update right after Wyatt. Wyatt, are you still with us?
If not, I'll go.
Okay. But the last thing I got to say is the creator's name is Yahweh. I know that. Or Yahuwah. Yahuwah. It's actually a breath. You say all the vowels on an exhale. It's the breath of life. That's the breath of life as Yahuwah. But you are right. Yahweh and Yahuwah, Yeshua, however you want to pronounce it, it's all good. If you want to call it source, you can. If you want to call it the universe, you can. I don't care. You call it whatever you like, whatever makes you, whatever vibrates with you. Okay. That's a good thing. A Centerpoint Challenge. Go to centerpointchallenge.com. Get higher vibrations. Brian, go ahead till Wyatt comes back.
So I know I've been missing a couple of weeks, so it's been very interesting. So I'm just going to kind of speak plainly, and my guides are present, and they're just going to get you to kind of, breathe, relax. They want to set the stage. If you need to put your hand on your heart to kind of center yourself and feel a bit more than you normally would on the show, they and I would encourage you to do it. So the reason is, if you are feeling extreme or different variants of anxiety, if you're feeling like stir crazy, as in like, am I real? Am I feeling like I'm an illusion, or is my thought processes functioning correctly? If you're having a lot of problems with food, if you're having a lot of problems with your emotions, like stomach ulcers, or you feel like your lower kidneys are hurting. So if you're feeling a lot of energy dynamics, you need to understand first and foremost, it may not be you. Okay. So the reason why I'm saying that is because the spiritual war is still very real. It still goes on, and it still tries to steal. And what's it trying to steal? It's trying to steal everyone's life force. Those that have authenticity, those that aren't reactionary, those that are more aware of multiple ideas existing at once. So I have been, I would say, I'm not going to say ill, but made to feel ill, even though I do not consent a majority of the times. I've also had to assist someone that is very special in her own way, and She is also involved in this spiritual war to where these entities, they need us off the game board. So there's two things that they like to do. They need to feed, because all these consciousness that is existing, the remnants within the population, if you can assume, again, use your creative visualization, if there's so few humans, and I don't mean humans as in the avatars, I mean the identity within their core, their spark. If there's so few, and then a majority are remnants, right? Because you have to assume that maybe their sources have all been extracted and gone to different game boards or different timelines. We don't know the process. We know that it's highly creative from other formats as to the formula of what source does in shifting and expanding or reducing, because there's always a universal constant. Because of that, on these other dimensional planes with lower dense ideas, avatars, or energies, they're starving. They need to feed. And their missions, too, are to take everyone out. They need to get them off the game board. And you're probably like, well, why do they need to get them off the game board? What's so important? Well, it's simple, because of the expansion or the spiritual war. And you can think of it as star seeds from other realms, or higher dimensional beings that say, look, we're going to come assist in your lower game board, and you are anchors. So if you can imagine, and I told Chances, think of your planet as a ball of cheese, okay? Like cheese has holes in them. So you're like, okay, so the cheese with the holes, what do they represent? They represent your anchors. The anchors are actually people. They're actually, like, perfect example, I'm actually an anchor. And they can read, and believe it or not, ETs can read that energy instantly. They would know I'm an anchor. We're all spread out. So you can imagine a giant cheese ball, lots of holes everywhere, and that is on purpose. So the reason is majority of them being star seeds or interstellar beings get extracted. So if you can imagine they pulling these anchors out, that hole is left open. So what's the purpose of that cheese hole open on the planet? The central suns. The central suns are tied to source itself. They're giant portals from etheric to cosmic. You don't understand the formula, you don't know why they work, but they work, and it's like a giant circulatory system of source. So source will pour itself into these holes in different points of the planet. And when it pours in, it will dismantle, remove, break away, obliterate lower dense formatted densities like 3 and different variants of 4 until it's just 5, or whatever contract the planet said, I want to be this, I don't want to be any greater than or less than of that density. I want to be that density and start from scratch. That is the purpose and the mechanism behind it. So in that regards, everyone needs to take more time to re-identify themselves, relearn who you are in retrospect. So if you need to get in touch with your inner child to make yourself much lighter, feel more vibrant, but at the same time, if you feel something, before you react, ask the question, is this my ailment, or is this something external trying to give it to me? And no more wishy-washy things such as, if you're someone who understands the astral side, please do not banish them. Do not banish those dark entities, because they'll just come back They'll bring more. They'll laugh at your face. No, you just say, guess what? I'm creating a pool of lava, or a pool of, or a realm of fire within my sphere. You walk in it, you touch it, you send any telepathic negative ideas into it, you're going to get incinerated. I'm going to hear your screams, you're going to burn to death, and I'm going to play my violin, and it's going to be music to my ears. That's what everyone should be doing. And believe me, these dark entities hate me for saying that, because they're cursing at me now. They're like, really raunchy, terrible. They don't like it because they don't want the individual to be empowered. So take greater care, be a little bit more empowered, and do yourself, a service by reevaluating you and your parameters, and just let the rest of it go. A friend of mine tried to say, hey, look what happened with Trump and Elon. I said, don't give a shit. Okay, they fell out, whatever. I'm like, I don't care. It's all optics anyways. I'm like, I feel like I need to just scrape hair off my tongue at this point. And I'm glad I don't have a hairy tongue. Anyway, yes, that is all I have to say. Please give yourselves even more greater care and ask a lot more questions, but don't give a free pass to any lower entity. You take them out. This is a spiritual war. That's it.
Oh, what a dissertation. Thank you very much, Brian. We love you, brother. Hey, listen, if you want to break that down, okay, just, you are your own world. You are in your own dome. You are in your own sphere. You control what goes on. That's what he's saying, folks. And listen, I'm going to prove it to you in one way more than I told this to my son today, and I know he probably thought I was full of hooky, but I told this 2 days ago to Fascinating Brian. Well, maybe it was yesterday. The day before yesterday, we had a tornado go through Fort Madison, Iowa. The news was pretty devastating. No buildings or anything like that, no homes ruined, but there was a lot of trees down, and signs were blown down. There's obvious signs of a tornado going through. What disturbed me more than anything is a block away, exactly 1 block away from my house, was this huge tree that got blown over on the house. But curiously enough, that morning, I had put a dome of protection with prayer over my house, my daughter's house, over all my family, all our vehicles. I had verbally said it when I got up in the morning. I didn't know there was going to be a storm. I didn't know there was going to be a tornado. And we had 2 tree limbs down. That was it. Not very big. We could haul them off with our hands. Everybody else in town was devastated. We were protected. Okay? I asked God, please put the dome of protection over us. We're all going to put on the armor of God. We did it. Use whatever words you feel to make you feel good about it. But the power of prayer, the positive affirmations, is the only real superpower that we have. I set the terms and conditions, is what I did. I set the terms and conditions of anything that could come along and hurt us. And I'm going to continue to do that every morning, because it just proved to me, the tornado just proved to me, I saw the tree out back going like that, okay? And it's a big tree. And if it was to go down, it would take out half my house, at the very least my apartment, okay? But it didn't go down, okay? That's my point. Now, before I turn everything over to Wyatt, I'm going to address something. Now, Ron Presley, he said his brother's been having stomach problems, and the doctors can't figure out why. I'm going to explain it to you. This is my opinion. I'm not a medical professional. I don't pretend to be one. But I am aware of what parasites can do to a human body. And your brother needs to go someplace and get a total parasitic cleanse. And after that, he needs to be taking oil of oregano with black seed oil in it, and methylene blue for 2 weeks. I'm back on the methylene blue. I'll do it for 2 weeks, and then I'll lay off for 2 weeks. And after that, he needs to follow up with fenbendazole and ivermectin, and even menbendazole. Okay, that is if your brother doesn't take care of it, it's going to get worse. Okay, and I've just given you my personal opinion. Zeolite's good too. I take zeolite too. I got it right next to my bed. Zeolite's good too. It's very good. But I love some of these comments. And you're right, Sherry. Sherry made a comment. The parasites love heavy metals. You need to take zeolite to remove the heavy metals because that's what they eat. Okay, and if you're iron deficient, okay, get this through your head. If you're iron deficient, maybe the parasites are eating the iron, and that's why you're tired all the time. Hello, Doc Wiedemann and I were talking about this earlier today. So, you got to get rid of the parasites. You got to get rid of the heavy metals. Okay, we're not here as medical professionals. There's only one medical professional that comes on here, and that's the NUCA doctor, Dr. Robert Wiedemann. He's the only one that comes on here. But listen, we can help you. Good source for these. A good source for Quantum Products. There's a company called Quantum Products. I'm getting ready to order some more methylene blue. It's just looking up Quantum Products methylene blue on Google. I use the I can prove it to you that it works. I use the oil of oregano with black seed oil that comes in a pouch. You get like 240 little caplets. I take about 6 a day. Let me just tell you, after I take 6, the next morning I can prove to you that it works. Okay? You want to talk about a cleanse? Oh, buddy, I'm telling you.
It's not just an iron deficiency necessarily. That might not be the case. It's copper deficiency too. Primarily, we have a lot of copper in our system, but they don't tell you that. You need copper because it helps with circulation, blood flow, and of the electrical current.
We're all giggling here, but not at you, Brian. Robert Wiedemann put in the private chat. He says, no Canada to the tune of O Canada, verse 1. No Canada, your promise now is gone. Your unity dissolved at the break of dawn. The West cried out. You turn away. Took your wealth and had naught to say. First Alberta stood alone. This house is not our home. Ottawa took our dough and never let us grow. No Canada, we could no longer stay. No Canada, we walk the other way. Oh my God, that's wonderful, Doc. All right, that is Doc Wiedemann's idea. Okay, and speaking of Canada, as the 51st state of the United States, which has not and will not be announced until the 4th of July, we have some wonderful, wonderful news. That's right, Joey. You're right, Joey. Pumpkin seeds are great too. We have some wonderful news from Wyatt. Okay? So let's go ahead and it's all you, Wyatt. I want to hear everything that you got to say.
All right. The ambassador to Australia, Caroline Kennedy, had a little speech going on 2 days ago, and she was talking about the Pacific. She was talking about Australia and the United States of Australia and how the borders are very, very long. That was a coded message, ladies and gentlemen, telling President Trump that Australia has been done, and we are now, believe it or not, in the kingdom of the North American Union. We are the 52nd state, along with all of the Pacific Islands and New Zealand. So guess what, guys? We're American. We're American. All right. So that's really the big news. But as Chance said, it will not be announced until probably the 4th of July. It may even be later, right? Now, the thing about that is, and the reason why I say that is because Mexico is next. Mexico is next, then Greenland and Iceland. All right. And then, of course, England has got to be annexed as a protectorate. They will not become, England will not become a state of the United States, but it will be a protectorate. It'll be like a territory. But for a long time, Australia has been a territory of the United States. But now, behind the scenes, we have become a state, although not officially announced yet. But the coded message was, very, very clear to anybody who's watching. My Space Force contact informed me of this and sent me the link to everything. And I want to thank him for that. So, it's amazing stuff. So in the coming months, we will, in Australia, become subject to American law, meaning that the Australian Constitution, which is all fraud, every last bit of it is fraud, will be gone. Will come under the Constitution of the United States as per 1776 and 1789 when it was ratified, and will be subject to the US codes on a federal level and whatnot like that. So it's going to be amazing. Now, once that happens, and once Nasara and Jasara comes in, because all of this is transitional, what will happen is that we will end up going back to the common law of God, okay? And as we were saying last week, it's just, it's common sense, okay? And people are going to have trouble getting their heads around that. But that's the big news. For the Australians who are watching, the Phoebe Bishop case has had a development. This young lady went missing 3 weeks ago. The police have now arrested the two people she was living with, the husband and wife, Woods, and they have been arrested and charged. They were released yesterday afternoon after questioning, but now they've been arrested. So it's going to be interesting to see what the motivations were behind that. I have a prediction about that, but I'm not going to share it here. But I did predict that those two would be arrested, and it was only 12 hours before I found out that they had been. How's that? So, what else is happening? All the doctors in Australia, they are seeing all this rise in the cancers and all of that sort of thing from this, jibby jabby, and they can't figure out why. Really? It's all part of the movie. Because we are entering the mass die-off. We are very much entering that now. And you're seeing sportsmen and women are still dropping like flies. They're just not reporting it. All right. There's a lot of things they're not reporting. So, you've got to look at things that are behind the news. And as Chance is showing you there, that's the symbol of hope. And I got to tell you, with what's happening with Australia coming into the North American Union and it all being pretty much finalised, except for the official announcement, means that this little exchange thing that we've all been talking about is very much just around the corner. So hold out a little while longer if you can. I mean, I know we've been saying that for a long time, and it sounds like we are droning on about it, but quite frankly, we are very, very close. Now, the other thing, as you may know, it's Doc G's birthday on the 6th of June. Well, it's the 6th of June here in Australia. So I want to say on air to everybody listening on Hamilton Radio and everybody tuning into this video after the fact or even now, happy birthday, Doc, and many, many more. So everybody to all together. So, this show is not possible without you or Hamilton Radio. So thank you very much for that, and keep up the good work. I think that's about all for me at the moment, Chance. I just wanted to say happy birthday to Doc and let people know about the Kingdom of the North American Union. But yeah, it's looking real. Oh, that was one other thing. This thing that's going on with Trump and Elon. Okay, I'm going to put my 2 cents in on that one. If you go back and compare the photos of Elon Musk today and Elon Musk from, say, 7 years, 8, 9 years ago, 2 completely different people. Right? This is all part of the script. He's not the sharpest tool in the shed like everybody says that he is. He's not the brightest bulb, right? It's all manipulated. The whole thing has been manipulated, because Tesla was not founded by Elon Musk. Go and look it up. There's a number of companies that Elon Musk was involved with that he had nothing to do with in the foundation of those companies. Right? He's not a good guy. But the actor that they got playing Elon right now is somebody that they have used to further the agenda. That's all I'll say. And there are people that are wearing masks that are being used for exactly the same purpose. That's why they're wearing masks. Do you think Nancy Pelosi's still around? I don't think so. Right? They've got somebody in the mask so that it can forward the agenda. All right? That's why they're wearing masks. Central casting. What does a good movie need? Great actors. All right? President Trump has told you all of this. He's told you everything you need to know. You've got it all. We don't really have a job. It's just that the only reason why we've got a job is because a lot of people haven't picked up on it. But he's told us everything. And so, believe in it, whether you want to believe in Q or not, he told us too. So, we are coming to the end of this movie, thankfully. But, there are people still going to be suffering. But, yeah, and Australia is going to suffer a little bit, even though we've joined the union, right? But the thing is, we've got to, because we've still got to wake a lot of people up. But there are people that will never be woken up. But, yeah. All right, Chance, that's it for me at the moment.
All right, thank you, Wyatt. Now I'm going to share with everybody some RV information. 2 days ago, the morning that we had our tornado go through here, or we had the tornado go through at 6 o'clock at night, but on that morning, I got notification from the highest source that I have, very high source, that Iraq went public with a new rate of $1.38. Since then, it showed up on the back screens of the Forex, and the back screens of the Forex now say $3.35. When it reaches $4.85, which should be in a day or two, they're planning on making it public. That's when, between, I'm going to guess, tonight and Monday, maybe next weekend. So I'd say within 7 days, you're probably going to get your 800 numbers or your phone calls or your emails. How you are going to be contacted is going to depend on how many foreign assets you hold. Okay? If you're holding a lot, you're probably going to be closer to the end because they want to get the masses through. And most people, now listen to me on this because this is very important. Most people are holding 100 or 100K or a combination of 425K Iraqi dinar notes. That's all they're holding. So they want to get those people through first. They want to get the people with the least amount of currency are probably going to be the ones to go through first. If you can get your appointment at a redemption center, do not get your appointment at a bank. There's all kinds of willy-nilly shenanigans going on at all of the banks. I tell you to get your money out of the bank. I'm not kidding. I'm hearing reports every day from somebody. Chance, can you help me? They've frozen my account. They've shut me down. Okay. Now, what they do is these banks can shut you down by, let's see, it's called a special. Hang on a minute, I'll think of it. It's SAR. I think what it stands for. Special activity report. If they think you're doing something, you're taking too much money out of the bank, or you got too active of an account or something like that, they can file a report. And once they file that report, they can freeze your account. And whether or not you get your money back remains to be seen. Okay? Okay? What have I been telling you guys for months now? Get your money out of the bank. Okay? If you got to have it to pay bills, I've told you how to do it. You get the cash. You go to the post office, get a postal money order, mail it in. Okay? When you put in things for auto pay, you're setting yourself up to have your bank account wiped out, because there's a special section in the auto pay agreement that you've signed, or you wouldn't be signed up for auto pay. The special section says at any given time, they can take whatever they want because you may owe it to them in the future. Follow me on that? You may owe it to them in the future, so we're just going to take all your $100,000 right now. Or if you only got 25 and you only owe $6 on your bill, oh, well, we want to take that whole 25 because, you might owe it to us in the future. Okay? Don't pay any attention to me. I don't care. I don't care. If I didn't care, I wouldn't be talking about it. But for God's sakes, how many people got to contact me? Chance, they froze my account. They froze my account. What am I going to do? You help that other lady. I can't help you guys no more. We're too close to the transitional, the major transition. There's too many transitions happening at one time. I mean, literally. Okay. Members of Congress have been arrested. They've been replaced. If you don't believe me, look at how many people have become employed by one company. It's called Central Casting. Do your research on Central Casting, because I have. Okay? There's a lot of people employed by Central Casting. A lot of people. There's a lot more people wearing masks than what you can think of. A lot more. And I'm here to help. I'm here to help, but I can only do so much. I can lead you to the pond, but if you don't get something to drink, whose fault is it? Okay? That's all I got to say about that. I don't know where Wyatt went. It's always good to have Wyatt and Brian here together, because I got a lot of people to bounce stuff off of. And of course, their insight is always appreciated. And that's one thing, Mr. Tyler Hansen, that I have in my favor that you don't have. And that is, you're working with a very small staff, if any. And nobody comes on camera but you. I have multiple people come on my show. Okay? I got nothing to hide. My telephone number is public. My email is public. My address is public. What I do, how I do it, is all public. I can't find your phone number. I can't find your email. I can message you through Facebook, but you refuse to respond to me. So, Tyler Hansen, that's all I got to say to you. You started out great. I don't know what's going on with you now, but if you care to talk, please feel free to give me a call at 319-561-0064 and email me at chancemusic@yahoo.com. Okay? Now, we got something very important going on right now in about 1 minute. And Ann's coming on from the Stem Cell Ladies. and LifeWave stem cell patches. And I want to talk to you guys a little bit about my experience with LifeWave. Okay, do not order from the company. You order from either Doc G, me, Fascinating Brian, Wyatt. Order from one of us, because you will get special offers, and you will get bonus patches that you won't get ordering direct from the website. Okay, it's kind of a good old boy network. So you get on board, but I want you to go back and look at a year ago and look at my eyes. I had dark eyes. I had raccoon eyes. I had looked like I had a mask on. Okay. Another thing is, I don't know if you can see it over here. Okay. You see my laugh line? You see my laugh line right there? Okay. My laugh line is starting to tighten up because of the SP6 patch that I'm wearing. Usually wear it on front top of my head because I never go anywhere. But the SP6 seems to be helping a lot with the laugh line going away. I put most of my patches around my navel and a couple right here by the armpits. And I put the pain patch on the back of my neck. It's really helped a lot. I became senior director at LifeWave a couple months ago, and I won a trip to Mexico, which I wasn't able to go to. So instead of, because I couldn't go, good for you, Mark. Okay. But because I couldn't go to Mexico, they sent me a thing with all the patches, every patch they make. Okay. And guess what? I've been using them all. And I notice a difference, especially at night when I take all the other patches off. Right there and right there. I put the sleep patch on. You're talking about a guy that used to lay in bed and watch videos and listen to music for 2-3 hours after he goes to bed, because I have a hard time sleeping. With those sleep patches on there, I think it's called Silent Nights is the name of the patches. Right there, on right here and right here. I go to sleep in 10-15 minutes every night, and I sleep good. Even when I'm interrupted by a bathroom visit, I'm going right back to sleep. I don't have any problems at all. That has been a blessing. Getting to sleep with all the things that I have going on in my life is usually a hard thing, and I'm really grateful for the patches for that. What I want to tell you is, if I'm 73 years old. I have been using the patches this is going on the 5th month. And as you can tell by looking at a year ago video of Hamilton Radio, you can see my mustache is getting much darker. You can also see my hair is coming in darker on the sides. Okay, I'm not dyeing my hair. And I can also see Doc G's hair getting darker. Right on the same area. Yep. I don't know why it starts on the outside instead of the inside. You'd think it'd work on the inside out, but it actually, I don't know why, but I don't know the science behind it. I don't need to know. All I know is it's working. And so you didn't get yourself in this shape with no stem cells. You didn't get yourself in any shape at all overnight. You got into this shape gradually. Developing bad eating habits, bad sleeping habits, bad things that are just plain bad for your health. And so you got to give the patches at least 7 months. Well, guess what? I'm into my 5th month and I'm already noticing improvements. Okay. I'm absolutely blown away that the laugh line over here is going away. And the other thing is, I'm going to see, if you can see this or not.
Yep,
The patchiness the patchiness in my skin, okay, it's changing. The patchiness in my skin, I can tell it in my arms. There used to be like these little fine wavy lines through my skin, okay, and they're going away, okay. So what you need to do is don't give them a try. Make a commitment. If you give it a try and nothing happens for you in 30 to 60 days and you quit, you've just lost every bit of ground that you've gained, even though it's not showing yet. You've got to stay. So if you're 70 years old, try them for 7 months, because you will notice the changes like I have noticed the changes. Okay. Now, and of course, like Lillian was saying a couple of weeks ago, certain times the human body does some strange things, and you'll get to a part where you reach a certain plateau, and you might stay at this plateau for a little while. Okay. But then as the stem cells improve, you're going to, it seems like it kicks in at different levels at different times. So the only thing I can tell you is try it. If you're 80 years old, you're going to have to try it for at least 8 months. But listen, make a commitment to yourself. Like I have. I've made a commitment to it. Okay. And believe me, I don't get my patches for free. I have to pay for them, just like you guys do. Okay. So don't think, we're working on that, Diane. We're working on that. Okay, I'm looking at some of the questions over here on the side. I was expecting Ann to come in by now. I've sent her the link.
I'm here. I'm waiting on y'all.
Well, there you are.
I've been listening to you the whole time.
Okay, good. Well, I'm gonna let you have your 50 minutes of fame, okay?
Well, I think you were doing an excellent job with it.
Okay.
You become a pro. So, hey, everybody. So Chance was making some really good points on a lot of different things. And it is true. You want to try to give at least a minimum of a month to 6 weeks for every decade old you are. By the time we're 30 to 35, we only have 50% of our stem cells awake and working. By the time you're 60 to 65, you have approximately 10% left. And then by the time you're 75, the dying process starts because the stem cells are all asleep. Again, they're not dead. They're not anything other than dormant or damaged. So when the patch is immediately placed upon you, and the only patch that has the regenerative factor to operate is the X39. So the other patches are supplemental patches. They came out first. It was before David figured out how to get the copper peptide to start working in the body. And now with the water system coming out, he has figured out longevity with the telomeres. It's the telomeres. The lobster has long telomeres, and David figured out that if you read Genesis and the tree about the tree of life, it's embedded with a code, and those same codes that are in that story match up to what makes up a lobster. And that's where he came up with his lobster water. Marketing said you can't call it lobster water. So between the patches, X39 is the only one that wakes up the dormant cells. The rest of the patches just speed up the process. This is why Lily and I are big proponents for having the what we call the Fantastic Five patches, because all of them working together speed up the healing. When you oops, sorry, my dog jumped in my lap. So when you're using all the patches at one time, it just speeds things up for you, because the X39 opens up the dormant stem cells, and then all the other patches are able to work quicker and more efficiently. And I can't read any questions that are going on. My screen's too small right now. So if there are any questions, Chance or somebody wants to read them out to me, Brian, anybody, and I can try to answer some questions.
I'm getting sick of these cable guys.
The cable guys?
Yep. It's
Twice
twice
they buffering, yeah.
I don't see any questions on the screen.
Okay. Well, and it is a 30-day money-back guarantee. So anybody who does just want to give it a try, David promises that within 3 weeks you will notice something. Most people notice it the same day that they were wearing the patch. I just got a text today. One of my friend's mom broke her pinky toe, and that's, you know, that's your stability. And with that, it's a lot of pain. So she broke it yesterday. I sent Amy home with some patches today, and her mom texted and said, I've had the patches on for 2 hours and forgot that I even had a broken toe because I was walking normal. So that was just the X39 and the LifeWave. That's the only patches I gave her. So it was the pain patch along with the X39 to open up her dormant cells. And she was able to walk on her foot normal. And she is late 70s.
Wyatt, would you put? I'm getting an echo.
I think it's and when you have your speaker on, you're getting an echo.
Must be when my refrigerator kicked on, and it's a low on my side, but I guess it is enough to echo you.
It's enough to echo. If you can mute when you're not talking, that would be great. Thank you. Go ahead, Chance.
Okay, Wyatt, somebody wants you to post your contact information. It's WyattAverp@mail.com. WyattAverp@mail.com. It's on the screen. Okay? If you're in Australia and you want to get the patches, get a hold of Wyatt at WyattAverp, WyattOfEARP @mail, MAIL.com. For all of you that are listening on the radio. Wow, it has been. I'll just tell you the truth. I started out with the patches, and I really didn't believe. Okay, I'm just going to tell you that straight up. But I thought you guys believed in me. You reached out. You contacted me. I think you probably saw the potential of our audience. And yes, WAP patches, the LifeWave patches that you get directly from contacting me, Doc G, Wyatt, or Brian. You can send me an email at chancemusic@yahoo.com. They're called LifeWave patches. And the advantage of ordering through us is you get special offers and sometimes free patches just by participating in our group. Okay, the APL Go products, they integrate. Yes, they do integrate with the patches, and they work real good. But this is with the patches, you're driving a Cadillac, and with the APL Go products, you're driving a Volkswagen.
I'm going to interject on that as well. So think of it this way. If you're taking some kind of supplement, but you have half to 60, 70, 80% of your stem cells asleep, again, I'm just talking entertainment purposes. If they're asleep and not functioning, that product is just functioning off of the 10, 15, or 20% that are awake and working. But when you put the patch on, it immediately opens up 33% more cells, wakes them back up. They're no longer dormant. So instead of you having 10 or 15, you have 43, 53, 63, depending on your age. It opens up that much more. The longer you wear the patch, the more your stem cells, your cells are waking up. And when they're waking up, about a year to a year and a half later, you're back at 100% functioning. And that's what the big thing is yes, you have to wear the X39 every day because it's building. It's a building block. So you wear it for 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Immediately upon placement, 33% of your cells are woken up. Because they're woken up, any product that you're using, any proper nutrition through your food, it's working better. If you take medication, many people get off of medicines or at least reduce their medicines because more of their cells are awake, means more of their cells are able to help the body function properly and repair.
That sounds great to me. I'm very happy with the progress I'm making right now, in particularly. But what I really want you to do, and I mean this. I mean, anybody could say anything, so you can believe me or not. I don't care. I do care, but that's why I'm telling you about it. But go back 1 year, right here on Hamilton Radio 1 on YouTube. Go back 1 year and look at me. Okay. Email me to order. That's right, Janice. You chancemusic@yahoo.com. But look at me from a year ago videos and look at the difference in my face. Do a screenshot and then do a comparison of the screenshots. It's the difference is night and day. And if you can't see the difference, then you're either blind in one eye and you can't see out of the other. Okay. So sorry. And if you are blind, my blessings are with you. And I didn't mean to make fun of you. That wasn't it. You've got to see the changes. Anybody can see the changes if you can see. And anyway, the new flag, we are holding off on the new flag. Wyatt, tell them about it.
Yeah. My Space Force contact got in touch with me about that. And the reason why it didn't show on the show last time is because, believe it or not, the SSP blocked it. They do not want that. That's the phone call. They do not want that flag made public at the present moment. And
IMF.
Yeah, but it is genuine. Yeah, 3 in a row. It's a genuine flag. Oh, give me a break. Damn. That's like you, Chance.
I know. This is a live video, folks. This is not scripted. We're all doing this from our hearts and our heads, okay? Hearts first, heads.
Yeah, but that flag. The person who sent that to me has very, very high level clearance, extremely high level clearance, and it was not to be made public. I was not told that it was not to be made public, but when I was talking about doing it, that's when the cable guy. That's when not the cable guys, but the SSP actually stopped it from happening. So SSP are white hats guys. So they don't want that information out just yet, but it will become public soon, from what I understand. Yeah, sorry, I just had to answer you, Elaine, because the other thing, in case people have come in late, I'm going to show my T-shirt that I showed last week, and I was requested to wear it this week. There it is. My president is bulletproof. There you go. And believe me, he's my president. So all Australians can say that President Trump is their president now. Now, there's going to be some people that are not going to like that, but too bad for them. Excuse me. All right, I'll let you get back onto with the show while I take this message.
Okay, no problem, Wyatt. I'm telling you, we have this exciting stuff. And for a minute there, I thought Wyatt was going to rip off his mask and there'd be somebody else. That's what Tom Cruise does. Yeah, exactly. Oh, my God. Can we have any more fun tonight or what? Listen, when we're helping people, we have fun. We really do. There's a lot of serious crap going on in the world, and we're very aware of it. And, but you just got to remember a lot of it has to do with the movie. The movie is quickly coming to an end, like Wyatt said earlier. And Wyatt, if you didn't see the beginning of the show, then you got to go back and watch it again, because Wyatt officially made the announcement of the Australia being the 52nd state of the North American Union, United States. Wyatt, you got something to add?
No, not really. I usually go back and watch the replay anyway, because people ask questions or they make comments on the replay. And last week's show got a lot of very positive feedback, and I got phone calls, emails, all that sort of thing from people saying, "Hey, what a great show it was," and whatnot like that. And they loved that the way it flowed last week. So, and then, you know, like 14 hours after the show, there were 3,000 views of the video, of the replay. So I'm sitting there thinking, you know, when you've got like 5,000 subscribers to this channel, and to Hamilton Radio for this show, getting 3,000 views within 14 hours, you know, that's almost going viral. So, you know, it's something that, Doc, you can be very, very proud of. And Brian, I know you had to leave early. I know that you may end up watching the rest of this show on the replay. Sorry you had to go. Please get well. All right? Please get well. That's all I have to really add at this moment. But I have to do some personal business for the next little while, and I'll be in the background, but I'll be definitely listening in. So I'll be back for the final thoughts.
Okay, thank you very much, Wyatt. We appreciate you.
No worries, Ed. Thank you. Bye now.
And I'm not done with you. I want the update on the Republic. Ann can give us an update on the Republic.
Okay. Still working on some things, but we just have little things that have to be put into place, and we now have a document that each individual may have, and I got that last night. I was editing mine today, and you need 2 witnesses on it. So if anybody wishes to have a copy of that document, I can get that out to you. You would just have to change county, state, and in the body of the document, I believe it will say Bay County because it came from somebody in Bay County, Florida. So that they forgot to highlight. So you would just have to make sure you read the document to make that edit. I think that's in the first sentence. But other than that, it's a pretty straightforward. And it's just saying that you wish to be part of the Republics and the Jural Assembly, and that you're making a statement that you already are a part of the Republic. So it's very simple, straightforward. Anybody who wishes to have that, I'm sure I can get that sent out to you.
Send it to me instructions, and then I will post it on the private Telegram page. Yes, we do have a private Chances Live Chat Telegram page for all you newbies that are listening in. And if you want an invitation, you got to send me all your information from Telegram, including your phone number and email. And I will send it on to our administrator, Bernadette, and she will vet you, because we're trying to keep people who do not have positive energy and are not headed towards the light. If you've got negativity, you are not going to come into our group. If you present negativity after you get in, you get 1 strike and you're out. Okay. And I'm going to tell you what, we've got about 1,500 private members right now. And we've probably got 400 people that we've kicked out. Okay. And the reason we do that is we ain't putting up with any bullshit. Okay. We're just not going to do it. We want love, light. We want positivity. We want positive frequencies, positive vibration. Everything that we do on this show is about your well-being, your health. And not only Ann is bringing us updates with the Republic, but she is one of the 2 stem cell ladies that are on the show regularly. So, they're not the only healthcare specialists on the show. I almost said professionals, but I said specialists instead. I'm getting good at catching myself. Okay, I've been doing this a couple of years now. I'm getting better. Okay, and but anyway, we have another specialist, and he's coming on for 15 minutes. And by the way, next week, Ann and Doc Wiederman. Next week, we've got a special feature, okay? Because last week's show went on for a long time, 35 minutes longer. So what I'm going to do is when I bring Ann and Lillian on, I'm going to set the egg timer for 15 minutes. And then you guys, and when the egg timer goes, ding, you're done, then you're done, okay? And the same way with Doc. That's what we're going to do, because we're trying to inform, and this is a Reader's Digest type operation. Okay, we can sit here and talk about longevity and the benefits of the stem cell patches all day for hours. We could literally do it for hours. But on this particular platform, we got to keep it down to 15 minutes. So Dr. Robert Wiedemann, Doctor of Chiropractic and Nuka Doctor Deluxe. So he is here, and he is going to tell you a little bit about his show, and he's going to tell you about when his next show is. And New Zealand is going to come in with Australia. Okay, it's a piggyback thing. I've already heard that, but so what I think Wyatt meant was, Australia is the 52nd. I think New Zealand is considered to be, even though it's a separate country and separate government, I think you're piggybacking in. So you may be getting notifications too. And if you notice changes in your government, please let us know here on the show or on the private Telegram group, and we'll be glad to share your information, because when you see major things shaken up in the courthouse, in the laws, in the legislature, in your constitution, whatever, then you're going to see that what we're telling you is right on. Dr. Wiedemann, what do you got to say for yourself tonight, sir?
Well, I had that inspiration for No Canada today. It just hit me out of the blue as a download. I had watched all this stuff on Canada and how the premier in Alberta is just literally kicking the rear end of the prime minister. It's amazing. He has no cards, and so the words just flowed. So I put him down because I kind of listened to the national anthem up there, and it's a beautiful national anthem. But as a nation, they're gone. They're gone. They are not listening to the rest of. They don't care. They're in on this all woke agenda and everything else. So that's where that came from. And I sent this to Doc G to see if he could put a video together with like a crowd singing No Canada. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, we had a good show the other night. We talked about digestion. We basically talked about from one end to the other, and how literally important it is to have the 90 essential nutrients for your organs to function. These organs can function if they have a nerve supply and if they have the nutrients to do it. And
Doc, so you're starting at the entrance and you end up at the exit, right?
That's right.
And that would make it a no interest. That would make that a no interest deposit, right?
That's right.
Okay.
It's a no interest deposit when it comes out. That's right. It's what a dog does on the sidewalk. I have absolutely no interest in that whatsoever. So anyway, but yeah, I mean, the thing that is that, you really have to have all the nutrients in order for things to work. And, you've got to have all those minerals. The minerals have to be plant derived. They cannot be just metallic minerals. And, what can I say? I mean, more than that. I mean, it's just like we've got this whole website, this wonderful, wonderful website set up by Ray Dubček. And I've been working on this for several years. Marvin has been working on it for several years. And it has a wealth of information in there. Many, many thousands of lives have been turned around as a result of following the protocols, because it can really be confusing. And so what we have is this wonderful questionnaire that literally makes it simple for anybody to understand. Longevity actually has thousands of, products. So where do you go in this wilderness of products? Well, you fill out the questionnaire, and it'll make the recommendations. This has been designed to pull from all of Doc's protocols. All of his teachings come from his protocol, from his teachings. They come, and they're very consistent and very simple to follow. if you follow the the questionnaire. So you can get a hold of Chance, you can get a hold of me, you can get a hold of Doc G if you want to get started with longevity and get started on these products and so forth. And there is a compensation plan. There are those that want to share this and to be able to have. First of all, we have 3 types of distributors: a level 1, level 2, and level 3. Level 1 distributor has no interest in sharing it with others. Level 2, people want to share it with others and get their products paid for. And level 3, they see the opportunity. They want an opportunity to where they can really benefit themselves. And so they end up teaching lots and lots of people. And we're not into dream building. We're just not into that type of thing at all. We're not here to talk about getting wealth and things like that. We're here to really solve a multitude of health problems by supplementing yourself. Because there's 1,000 voices out there that want to tell you that they have some product or something that they're going to come and apply to the outside of your body, like drugs and things like that, that they think they can cure you. Of course, if Doc G will bring my meme up here, this is what Wyatt was wanting. Wyatt, I don't think I have your email right. So that's, if you haven't received this from you yet, then that's the reason why. Of all who claim to cure, there are only 3 who tell the truth, and they are the butcher, the tanner, and the tobacco farmer. And, why the butcher? Well, a butcher cures meat. Why the tanner? Well, the tanner tans hides. And why the tobacco farmer? Because the tobacco farmer cures tobacco leaves. They're the only 3 people that can really say they cure anything. There is no medicine on the face of the earth that can cure you. They can suppress symptoms, but healing comes from within, no matter what. Getting off BP meds, blood pressure. Yeah, sure, certainly. That's easy. If you contact me, Suzanne, I will be glad to have a conversation with you. And if you get a hold of Chance can three-way you with me. If you get a hold of Doc G, he can 3-way you with me, and so forth. And welcome Australia to the United States of America. You're a true patriot, and we appreciate you very much, Wyatt. And
thank you, Doc. The person asking about the blood pressure medications, you can start by taking cayenne pepper every morning and night, a quarter of a teaspoon with water. After I had my heart attack, they put me on blood pressure medications and Lipitor and all that sort of thing. And how I don't take the Western medicines blood pressure medications, but I started taking cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper thins the blood and helps regulate your blood pressure, I've found, and it's clinically proven. And I wouldn't go off your blood pressure medication straight away. I'd get into the habit of taking a quarter of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper every morning and every night. Until you get used to it. I've got a friend of mine who's had vertigo, and believe it or not, that has helped his vertigo because that's a circulatory problem. So, and cayenne pepper, if you've got a small cut, you can put cayenne pepper on the cut. It will coagulate the blood. So for external use, it coagulates. For internal use, it thins. And this is the beauty of this. I mean, God provided everything that we ever needed on planet Earth to cure, to help get rid of parasites, do all the good things, make us healthy. So, but cayenne pepper, yes, I'd try that, get onto that for a while, see how it goes, and then after you've been on it for a couple of weeks, you could probably go without your blood pressure medications for a couple of days and see how it's actually working for you. But do it with good medical advice if you're going to do it. Okay, I'm not a doctor, but I've found that's my personal experience of cayenne pepper.
Cayenne pepper is a great thing to take. Just to give you a little story about that. When I was living in Montana, had some friends that had a ministry up in the North Fork. They lived way up by the western side of Glacier National Park. And there's a wilderness road that goes up there. And they lived in a wilderness house up there. And they had a neighbor across the road from them. And it was snowy out. One day that Jim, he had this homemade snow plow that he would chain underneath the front of his car. It was, like a locomotive cow catcher, and it kept turning on one side of his house, on the south side of his house, and he ended up clearing out a whole, like a parking lot size area, and he couldn't figure out why it was doing that. Well, later in the day, they got a call from a neighbor who was having a heart attack, and his wife is a nurse, and so he came up there, and she gave him a couple capsules of cayenne pepper, and he took them, and they life flighted him down to the hospital down in Kalispell. And when they got down there, his heart attack was gone, and they could not find any evidence that he'd had one. So, I mean, it's what it does is opens up the capillaries. But again, that's not a cure. It's just the body's reaction to what happens when you take that. But there's another thing to look at, and that's the atlas subluxation complex. That's the relationship of the head with the top, when there's a misalignment there, it is that there's a tension on the brainstem at that point. The brainstem is the medulla oblongata, which is the bottom end of the brainstem, is suspended inside the lumen of the foramen magnum. There's a hole in the bottom of your skull about the size of a quarter, or the size of a 50-cent piece, actually. And your brainstem comes down through there, and it is suspended by what we call dentate ligaments. And the atlas subluxation is a very complex three-dimensional displacement of the atlas underneath the skull. And there's over 28,000 different ways it can misalign. So we have to take very careful, precisely aligned x-rays in order to be able to measure that. And only NUCA can do this. Only NUCA has the formula for aligning the x-ray properly. And by adjusting with this mathematical formula, it's very gentle adjustment, and it removes the tractionization from the brainstem, and that's where the centers that control all the circulation in your body occur, right there at that brainstem level. There's many centers in that brainstem that control various parts of your body, and there are two centers in there that have to do with the extensor muscles of the spine. They are called facilitator and inhibitory centers. And when those are out of balance, it will cause a spastic contracture of the lumbar and pelvic musculature and will twist your lower spine out of alignment. Plus, you can see the heat patterns change in the spine. That's why we scan you with the infrared scan, okay? So when you correct that subluxation, the blood pressure will normalize. I used to go to a friend of mine in Spokane, he with me, and we would adjust each other. And his blood pressure would be 130 over 90, and mine would be 130 over 90 or something like that. And when we get adjusted, mine would go down to 100 over 70, right away, immediately. So on the short term, something like cayenne pepper is good. But if you can get to a NUCA doctor, and unfortunately there aren't any down in Australia, I don't know why. There used to be one down there years ago, but they don't have the access to NUCA chiropractic like we do in this country. And if you're within 2 to 4 hours of a NUCA doctor, you're lucky, because it's a specialty, and generally a NUCA doctor will be in a higher populated area simply because of the fact that when you get adjusted with NUCA, you don't have to you don't have to be adjusted very often. So, so if you have any interest in getting, I can refer people to the nearest NUCA doctor. I'd be glad to do that. I've done it several. I have had several people that I've referred already, and they have gone and gotten adjusted, and haven't heard what happened since because it's been so recent that. But anyway, that's.
Can you tell us a little? Let's say one more time about your show. It's on Monday nights at 8 p.m.
Right.
Right.
8 p.m.
Hamilton Radio 1 on YouTube.
Right.
Or hamiltonradio.net.
And the last time, last Monday, Doc lost power, so he postponed it till Wednesday night. So we had ours Wednesday night. So if for some reason it's not on a Monday, it'll be on a Wednesday. You know, he allows us make up shows if we miss on Monday. So there you go. But anyway, so Wyatt, what's your thoughts on that?
You're muted, Wyatt.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm having one of those days, unfortunately. Yeah, I agree with you totally. You know, as you and I discussed after the show last week, you know, I've been with chiropractic since 1976, and I tell you what, the benefits of it are just amazing, and your knowledge. I'm actually astounded by your knowledge, Doc. I really am. You know, so do listen to Doc W when he's talking about, you know, NUCA and all that, because he definitely knows his subject. He definitely knows his subject really, really well. I would say probably more than the average. You're smarter than the average bear, mate.
Yeah.
Well, folks, tune in Monday night. Tune in Monday night.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things, you know, we were talking about things like vertigo and tinnitus. Those are all, you know, can be controlled by, there are holes in the bottom of your skull that the nerves come out. And if you have a calcium deficiency, the bone will expand in size and encroach on those nerves. So therefore you have to supplement in order to reverse that process. You know, because what happens is that when you remove the calcium from the bone, then the bone has to expand in size because all it has left is fiber. And you know, it can conserve size when the calcium is present. When you don't have the calcium present, it has to expand in size. That's what we call Paget's disease. Now, when I was in school, I didn't know that. I didn't know that till I got in contact with Dr. Wallach and learned the importance of having calcium in the bones to strengthen the bones. So, I mean, you've got to have both nerve supply and supplements. I believe in supplementation just as much as I believe in removing nerve interference. I believe that it actually can cause nerve interference not to have your proper supplements in there, proper nutrients. And that's the fastest way. I mean, when B.J. Palmer and D.D. Palmer were around, there were more minerals in the soil when they were around. Now our soils are 80% deficient in minerals. Now in Australia, it's not as bad. They're only 75% deficient, but in America, we're 85% deficient in the minerals, you know, simply because of the heavy farming and things like that. I mean, what's going to come out of the soil? And one of the things that Dr. Wallach teaches is that people no longer put wood ash in their gardens and things like that. That's where the minerals come from, burning wood. You know, those trees, the roots reach down into the other minerals. And when you burn the wood, you put the minerals in the soil. Now, I have a friend up in the Kalispell area. He doesn't live right in Kalispell. He lives closer to Glacier National Park, up in the mountains. And his parents lived in a little. His dad was a cowboy in the early years of Montana, and he had as a pick like that. And and they lived in this house that used to be a farm or a ranch, and they had horses and everything else there. Well, they had a garden, and for years they had put ash on the soil, and they lived up into their 90s. Well, as soon as their son bought him a pellet stove where they were using less ash and didn't put it on the garden anymore, Nestor got sick, and then his mother got sick and went blind. Just after they stopped, stopped after they were putting the soil on there and so forth. So good. DJ Clark says he burns wood and puts it on the ashes on the garden, and the reason you're doing that is because it puts minerals in the soil. And you take a look back in the movies of New York City back in 1910, there isn't a single fat person there. And it's all because they were putting wood ash on their gardens. They were eating out of the gardens, and they did hard work. I mean, in those days they didn't ride around in carriages. They were using horses and teams and working with them. So our society has lost its exercise, and it's lost its nutrition, and our lifestyle is so altered, and now we're getting toxins and poisons in our body and parasites and everything else. So there you go.
Well, thanks for
Bob's
everything tonight. Bob's your uncle. And listen, tune in to Doc Wiedeman's show on 8 o'clock Monday night. And if there's ever a cancellation, then it will be on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. So but it's right here on Hamilton Radio 1. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the part of the evening, we're going to go and we're going to talk about our final thoughts. Doc G, what is your final thoughts tonight?
Well, let me just say, too, Wednesday night was an obscure night. Usually I have another show on, so I was able to put Doc in because that was on hiatus. So that's not usually that happens that way. So when we can do it, we'll do it, and Doc knows that. But my thoughts are, guys, just keep praying. I'm going to be 64 tomorrow. I'm excited about that. I made it close to where Chance is, but I got a long way to go. I'm excited. I'm happy to be with you guys as a team, with Doc and Wyatt, Chance, and of course some of my friends. And I'll consider all my friends too. But we did it. We're 30 years. 14 is when we started the station 30 years ago. It's hard to believe, but that's the truth. My daughter told me, she said, "Dad, you started it 30 years ago." I said, "Yeah, but I didn't really get it going." She said, "Yes, you did. It just wasn't established like it is now." So 30 years was the start of the station. And I'm proud and happy and very excited to where we're going to go in the next 30 years with the med beds and all the technologies that's coming out. I will say one thing about cayenne pepper, and then I'll say goodbye. The cayenne pepper, of course, was the Arter Ease I told you about, Wyatt, if you remember. That's an amazing product. Everybody should get that has even some type of cardiac type of issue or a carotid artery or anything like that that's got a lot of plaque in it that will help. But I take cayenne pepper plus that. So you never know how much you're going to need. Just take what you can. And I always tell people, like Doc always says, you can take any supplement you want, and you may not hurt your body, but there's certain supplements you got to really watch that you don't take too much of. So cayenne is not one of them. Oregano oil is not one of them. There's so many different supplements that we need every day that we don't get enough of. And one of them, Doc, is what? Vitamin D, calcium, magnesium, because it's not in the foods.
Longevity has the best package of getting them into your system of any that I know of, and I've looked at them all. So I'm with Longevity for a reason. It isn't because of any money; it's because I believe in the product. I've experienced it since 1997. When I first took it, I knew the very time somebody gave me some samples is what they did. They gave me three little bottles. They don't make these anymore. Little bottles of tangy tangerine, 3 bottles of cherry mints, and I felt so much better after 3 days. Just 3 days, 1 ounce of each. Amazing. So, in my closing thought, you want to bring my little meme up there, Doc G?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I guess we already did, but yeah, of all who claim to cure, there are only 3 who tell the truth, and they are the butcher, the tanner, and the tobacco farmer. There you go.
All right. Well, thank you. Wyatt, what's your final thoughts tonight, brother? You're muted. There you
Well, we are very close to everything going down. There's a lot of excitement in the air, and that's to be expected. There are people that are struggling, and we know that, but we're asking you to hold on for a little longer, because you know, the date that has been touted around the place as being the 15th. Well, we don't know what date. It could be earlier, right? But there are things that have been happening in like moving at quantum speed, really, and all behind the scenes. And as Chance said at the beginning of the show, there has been time shifts and whatnot like that going on. And some things have been sped up, other things have been slowed down, but the balance has got to be there, right? So with the news of with the Australia going into the North American Union Kingdom, although not officially announced as yet, is big news for us in Australia, because we're going to be set free. And you know, when you think about all of the other countries that are going through these transitions, they're all moving into their kingdoms too, into the other 6 kingdoms. We're not hearing about that because, you know, they're being done quietly. A lot of, as I said last week, a lot of the countries that we think are developing countries or third world countries, they're not actually the third world countries. The Western world is the third world country because we're taking longer to get these things done, whereas a lot of places like Iran, Iraq, and all of that, they've been done. They're waiting on us. So I got to tell you, we are in for a beautiful world. I keep saying that. I do believe that the white hats are real. They are absolutely real. But you know, we cannot afford to allow ourselves to get into a negative type of energy moving forward. We must keep it positive. But even the surrounds right now, everything is looking very positive. I mean, positive things are happening in the news. Positive things are happening in your personal life, I'm sure. You know, there may be a few little things that'll give you a bit of a hiccup, but it's a hiccup. But hold the faith a little longer. I think you're going to be surprised. Probably, I would say next week or early the week after. That's what I will say. I'm not giving a date. I'm not giving rates, but it's ready to happen. And we're now waiting on Mexico to come. And if we take the timeline of what's happening with Canada joining and then Australia, that's about 2 weeks. So in about 2 weeks' time, Mexico will be in. And it may even happen before that. And then a couple of weeks after that, Iceland and Greenland. So, but as I say, some things have been sped up, some things have been slowed down. And
I have a question for Chance. Am I going to get kicked off the show for my thing about no Canada?
go. No. Okay.
I did that for humor's sake.
What happened to Wyatt? Did he freeze? He froze up.
Yeah, he froze up.
Yeah. Please thank God for President Trump and the white hat military, because they are the ones that are making this happen, and we need to give thanks to them. Also, thank the archangels of heaven as well.
Yes.
Because they are the ones that they are God's warriors who have made all of this possible. So we have to give thanks for that. That's it, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, my final thoughts tonight is Doc G. I sent you an email this afternoon. It says for the show tonight. There's
Oh,
four documents. I want to put them up on the screen. If you can put all four documents up on the screen,
oh, I see it.
okay.
Yep.
I want the people to look at these documents. If you have to pause to look at them, this is about a child that is being victimized and kept intentionally away from its mother. And I want you to, if you can pull it up.
It's
If
not.
not,
I'll tell you what's going on. I'm opening them up. There's nothing there. So it might be Yahoo shutting them down.
That's exactly what it is. But the documents have been put up on the Telegram page, on our private Telegram page. I kind of suspected something might not be on there. I just got to glance at them, and one of them disappeared while I was glancing at it.
There you go. See?
So, but what's happening is we got them on the Telegram page. So if you're part of the private Telegram page, you will be able to access those documents that talk about the baby that's being victimized and kept intentionally away from its mother. And I'm talking about a newborn baby. Okay? This reeks of adrenochrome.
See?
Yeah.
They'll come up. So
they won't. You click on them and nothing happens, huh?
Nothing happens. It says 0 document there.
Yeah. They've done
So
something.
What's with all this negative stuff with children? And I got something from Jack and Margie Flynn today about this Jack Flynn that got put in jail for speaking out against what's going on in Connecticut. He without any charges, just put him in jail and sentenced him without any due process whatsoever.
Did you say Jack Flynn?
Yeah.
Don't know anything about it. Don't know anything about it.
I'll have to send you the email. I'll send you the email tonight.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Have you looked at it?
Be fine. Yep.
I've already written President Trump, and hopefully he'll get what did the tobacco farmer actually say?
Okay.
I don't know what that.
Go ahead, Chance.
If send that to me, and I have somebody that I can send it to that has Trump's ear. Okay.
Okay.
So I can forward it on to. I can forward it on to indirectly to Trump.
Yeah, I'll forward you the letter that I wrote too. So.
Okay.
So that you know.
But continuing on with my final thoughts for tonight, guys. We're here to help you. We're here to help you because we love you. We love Jesus. We love the Heavenly Father. We love the Holy Spirit. Okay? I do not go to church. Not that there's anything wrong with church, but I have my specific things that I don't care to. But I did, when I did go to church, I went to the Seventh-day Adventist church, but I have my own specific reasons why I'm not attending any church now, because I feel like the church is in my heart and I carry it with me all the time. I carry the Lord Jesus with me all the time. And you can call me whatever you want. I don't care. I see so much bad things in this world, but at the same time, the good things are winning. The positive, the light, the love is taking over our realm. We are winning, and we will continue to win. Just like Trump said, you're going to get so sick of winning. He's right. But we deserve it. This is our right. God wants all of us to have abundance. 520-7418. If you need the RV protocol papers, send $50 to $McFadden Chance on Cash App, or to my email address on Wise, chancemusic@yahoo.com. They're $50 US. If you want to make a love donation, use the same forms of payment. $McFadden Chance on Cash App, and chancemusic@yahoo.com on wise.com. Okay. We can send paperwork out tonight if you're ordering the protocol papers tonight. What I want you to know is how much we appreciate all of you. This is where I get serious. Okay. I'm dead serious about the love. Okay. I lost another pet last week. My monkey boy cat, who was 25 years old, he just went to sleep. He was done. And he was my friend. He got me through a lot of hard times. He was a good kitty cat. And I miss him. He's a good boy. And Archie, a couple months before, he was a kitty cat of mine. He died.
Oh.
But what I'm talking about is this. They're not really gone. All my other 9 dogs that I had before I had these 7, very close to all of them. They were with me all the time, always home. And Brian said something very interesting to me about protection. And he said it to me over the phone. He says, take those dogs with you when you're going on a trip. He says, take those dogs with you. They looked out for you in life. They're going to look out for you on the other side too. And I would like to think that, and I would like to envision that, and I would like to make that so. So if you are a pet lover like I am, and you've lost one, move forward with love. Keep that love going. It's not gone. Just give it to another pet. They need it. Okay? And try not to have your pet get vaccinated. Try not to. It's not good for them. And that's all going to come out too after the jibbity jab stuff. Okay? As everybody's awake. So we know how to take care of our pets. You guys know how to take care of your pets. Sometimes we have to go to a vet, but that's because we love them so much. And guess what, guys? The whole world is about one thing and one thing only, and that is love. What we need is love. All you need is love. 520-7418. It is a prayer of completion. It breaks the matrix. You control your universe. You control your game board. You may be on your game board, may be on another game board too, but you control your game board, just like Brian says. Set your terms and conditions. That's what saved me and my family and my tree and my property and everything when this tornado went through 2 days ago. Okay? Protect what is yours. And I even put it, I had failed to put my prayer of protection over the entire city. I had failed to do that. And the city suffered the wrath. And if you, Doc Wiedemann, if you was going through this town now, you wouldn't believe the devastation.
Wow.
But
That's
anyway,
amazing.
I want you all to just give love in your heart all the time. Love Jesus, love the Heavenly Father, love the Holy Spirit. If you're an atheist, then you shouldn't even be listening to this show. Okay?
That's great.
Because we are all about the love, the light, and the love for Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, sweet Jesus, and Heavenly Father and the Holy Spirit. Guys, I love you all. Thank you for attending. We appreciate your donations and your orders of the RV protocol papers. I don't know how to tell you. Oh, and one other thing before I leave. It's okay, Stacy. I understand. Speaking of Stacy, she has donated back the guitar that she won to the station. So if you want a chance to win that guitar again, send $5 to my Cash App, $ McFadden Chance. All the funds will be sent to Doc G to support the station. And we will, at the end of the month, give that guitar away again. It's the same guitar. I'll bring it on next week. I'll play for you. Okay. I'll even try to get my daughter down here to sing for you. Okay.
Oh, good.
Because I've had requests for that. Okay. So, yeah, Maria, number one, I hear your request. Okay. I love you guys. I really love you all. We've gone over again, and I'm sorry, Doc G, but I love you, brother. And thank you so much for providing a platform for us. And in Jesus' name, amen. And
Amen.
we'll see you guys all next week. And I'm Chance McFadden. That's Dr. Robert Wiedemann. And that's Doc G. And be good to yourself and others. I love you. Good night.
God bless everybody.
God bless.